We are spending a lot of today remembering a legend, five-time NBA champion, former MVP, 18-time All-Star Kobe Bryant. And we are privileged to have Eldridge Recasner, Hall of Famer from the University of Washington, longtime NBA veteran as well, in studio to talk about your interactions with Kobe Bryant. And I can see it in your face. You may be happy to be here, but you're just sort of sad today, like we all are, but you in a more specific way. What is it like? What was it like when you heard the news yesterday?
Oh, I was devastated. You know, I was in church at the time, and I started getting these text messages. My phone started vibrating. And the first one I kind of ignored, the second one I ignored, but after the third one, I looked down, and it was Michael Cage, the former Seattle Supersonic, that sent me a text with a TMZ report saying that Kobe Bryant had died in a helicopter crash. So I got up and I had to walk out of the congregation just to kind of regain myself a little bit. Just sad, you know, sad as a guy who played against him, you know, the greatest player of his generation, the second greatest player I think I've ever seen outside of Michael Jordan, and just as a parent. You know, I have 4 kids, and to lose one of your kids, man, that's just a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
I can't imagine getting all those text messages. I mean, even when we were at a parents group yesterday, and the first text came in, and I thought, it's just so unbelievable. I mean, it's got to still be sinking in this morning for you and for a lot of other folks.
The first thing you think is, oh, it's just a bad rumor. You know, Then you hope the next text message you get, you know, is saying, oh, it really didn't happen. This is just a false report. But then I've got an email from the NBA Retired Players Association, and when I saw that, I was like, well, I know this is real. And yeah, even last night, after I did a couple of these last night, and you know, you go home and you see the TV and you see Kobe Bryant, 1978 to 2020. It just doesn't seem real. I mean, the guy was bigger than life. You know, like I said, motivated so many people, just not only to be the best at basketball, but to be the best in whatever they do, because that's the type of guy that he was, man. He was about excellence. When you suited up against him, you know you were gonna get the business if you didn't come with it.
I wanted to ask you about that because you were 5 years after graduating from UW. You had played in Europe in the CBA, and he was a teenager that came in. And not that you were a superstar in the NBA, but as a veteran and a guy who was just 7 years older than a teenager, what was it like playing against him?
You know, the first time I played against him was his rookie year, 96, 97. I was with the Atlanta Hawks, and he was with the Lakers, and we were in LA playing the game, and I'll never forget it, man. The game was close, and at the end, he kind of struggled a little bit because he shot an air ball. But I remember looking over to my teammate, Chucky Brown. I said, Chucky, this guy's going to be special. And Chucky was like, he'll be all right. I said, no, man, I think he's going to be great. But you can see it then, just the motivation, the drive he had to be the best. You know, he gets a lot of criticism for wanting to be like Michael, but who doesn't want to be like Mike? And he was as close, I think, as has ever gotten. You know, there's Michael Jordan, and I call Kobe Bryant Michael's shadow. That's how close I think he was. He was that good.
Yeah.
What else do you think was special about him? Because we've all seen him mature and grow, you know, going from a high schooler to a 41-year-old and really evolve as a person and as a dad of 4 daughters. What do you think was special about him?
I think his discipline. I've never seen a player more disciplined. I've never seen a player that I think studied the game more. There's been a lot of great players, a lot of great athletes, but I've never seen anybody that was a great athlete that approached it with the mental approach that he took as well. When you played against him, he just knew everything you were going to do. He knew everything that he wanted to do, and he was prepared. I'll say it again, I don't think I've ever seen anybody that was that dedicated to try to be the best. He was just flat out awesome. You know, I had so much respect for him. And then even off the floor, you know, I remember I take my son to All-Star Weekend with me every year, and sometimes the big-time players kind of brush you off. They don't want to take a picture with a kid. They don't want to sign an autograph. But Kobe was so gracious with his time that I just had the ultimate respect for him.
Yeah, and then he applied that to his life after basketball. Not that he had that many years after he retired, but I want to ask you about that. You've been kind enough to say you'll be sticking with us for an hour, but ask you about your transition and his transition as an Academy Award winner and his push for equality in girls sports and youth sports in general. Eldridge Recasner, we're so glad you're sharing your time with us. We're sorry for your loss. I know you guys have a very strong fraternity in the NBA, and it's a true brotherhood. And we appreciate you hanging with us here at King Power.